Good morning, it's Catherine. I'm going to do my live Tabata sequence. I'm going to do this two ways. The first way is going to be a warm-up, and it's also the sequence that beginners can do. I'm not going to be going to the floor, I'll be staying up, so that's the warm-up. And then the second sequence is going to be full-on, which is more advanced. Both of these are for fat burning, for health, and vitality. I have my gym boss. I'm going to start my timer and get started. We begin with total body extensions. Now wake it up. Here we go. 20 seconds on. Abs tight. Don't have to count. Gym boss is doing that for me. 10 seconds of rest, going into a mountain climber, but this is the warm-up, so I'm going to do a cross crawl. If you're a beginner, need to go easy on your knees, your back, you have a lot of weight to lose, you can substitute this for the mountain climber. And of course, we're using this as a warm-up. Resting for 10 seconds, going into a prisoner squat. Lacing the fingers, lifting the chest. Zipping it up. Not rushing. Focusing on form, not speed. Push-up, this is going to be elevated on the desk for beginners. Sorry about the noise. If you want to work harder, you can go faster, get more reps in. Side lunge. Hands on the thighs. Keeping a neutral spine. Not rushing. If you want more intensity, you can go faster. Next round will be more intense. This is the warm-up. Body saw is on the floor, but for now I'm just going to plank upright on the desk. Still warming up. So, elevated plank. Shoulders down, abs tight, glutes engaged. I may even put my heels down, stretch the calves. Jumping jack, coming in 10 seconds, but I'm going to do a step jack where I don't jump. Looks like this. So it's a side step. If you engage your abs and use isometric contraction in the arms, this will be effective. The last exercise is going to be a plank jack. Again, I'm going to be elevated for this round. The next round, if you're more advanced, stay with me and do the next round. So we're here and stepping out. Good for a warm-up, good for learning. Go a little lower, stretching the calves. Abs tight. All right, so, that should be the end, and we'll get a series of beeps. There we go. So I'm taking 30 seconds of rest in between rounds. Now we're going into the more advanced round, and you're going to see what I'm going to do with the push-ups, going to start them challenging, and then I'm going to break them down to an easier version. And, well, you'll see. Even if you are advanced, if you're coming in cold, really good to do the version that we just did as a warm-up. If you're more of a beginner, trying to protect your knees, your back, your wrists, go ahead and continue to do this round elevated. If you're going to use this as part of a total training program, which is what I usually design for my clients, you're going to be doing resistance training 3 days a week, and then 2 or 3 other days a week on the days you don't resistance train, you can add this sequence, taking 1 day off. If you want to go to a highly advanced protocol, leaning out, getting very strong, what I recommend is you do the warm-up version of the Tabata, you do your resistance training, and then you do the Tabata again. And this is going to give you a total training session that's going to be wonderfully intense and can definitely improve your fitness, your conditioning, and your physique. All right, are you ready? We're going to do the more challenging version. Got my gym boss, gonna hit my button. Let's get going. So, adding a little more intensity, a little lower squat, really going for it. Pulling in those abs, especially on the way down. 10 seconds transitioning to a mountain climber, coming to plank position, waiting for the beat, here we go. Straight forward, abs tight, abs really tight. Quality of movement, power, coming up, resting, going into a prisoner squat again, quality of form, pulling those abs, focusing on not allowing my knees to come out of alignment, not allowing my feet to roll in or out, training my back, my abs, and my legs. As you can see, the intensity is starting to build. Going into the push-up, getting into my tabletop position. Here we go. As I fatigue, I'm going to go to the wedge, doing to kneeling push-up. Coming up, I look forward to getting to the point where I can do that without adding the kneel. Side lunge. Now, I'm going to add some plyometric action to this movement. You don't need to add this. You can stay right here. No hop, but more intensity, more athletic conditioning, you add the hop. Body saw, sometimes also called rocking plank, one of my favorites for abdominal tightening. Head in line. Getting hard. Woo. Jumping jack. You can step jack if you want. I'm going to go ahead and jump. Soft landing. Trying to. Down into plank position, finishing with a plank jack. You can simply plank if you want to. Plank jack is fun though. Here we go. That angle is weird. So without the hop, they look like this. There you have it. Adding the stretch. Now it's off. Calves, sides, hamstring stretch. Doing the best to keep my head in line, sitting back to engage the hamstring. Try to keep the belly pulled up. And coming up. Sitting back, abs tight, head in line, neutral spine, engaging the hamstring. Wonderful elevation of heart rate. Whew, gets everything going. Feels really good. Total body stretch. And pausing here. Stretching the hamstrings. And rolling up. Little balance. Fighting for the balance. And coming down. So there you have it. 8 different exercises, which is kind of cool, because if you establish 8 exercises for the Tabata routine, then when you're done with your exercises, you're done with the round. So highly recommending doing that very easy round first to get the body warmed up, and then doing the intense round second, or once again, if you're a beginner, just simply do the beginner round twice. You're still going to get elevated heart rate, that wonderful physical vitality that you get from Tabata training, and then your resistance training is during the rest of the week, 3 times a week. Next week, I will do that kind of sequence for you. I will do the warm-up, and we'll do upper body, and then we'll do another intense Tabata, so it'll be a little bit longer, a little bit more intense. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. I really appreciate all of you, and in a few weeks, I am going to be heading to New York to sing with the St. Mary's Women's Choir at Carnegie Hall. And so I'm going to be focusing on really good nutrition, highly effective exercise, wanting to look and feel my best for the trip to New York. However, I'm not going to overdo it. I'm not going to starve myself or beat myself up. The whole point is good singing, having a wonderful trip, and seeing old friends and making new ones. So I'm not going to push so hard that I risk what I call snapping back. So if you're cutting your calories too hard and you're pushing your training too much, sometimes you can really come out of balance and have what I call like a snapback, when you pull the rubber band too hard and it snaps back and it hits you from trying to cut too much in the nutrition department and trying to add too much in the training department. Just gonna stick to my sugar freedom lifestyle, my 20 grams of carbs, adequate protein, adequate fat to satiety, no sugar, no grains, no vegetable oil. And then with my training, making sure that I'm not going to a place where I'm in long-term discomfort. When I do endurance training, when I'm feeling uncomfortable for a long time, in me, this causes a kind of stress cascade, elevated cortisol, fatigue, sometimes injury. So I'm going to be very, very careful that I'm doing training that I can do with excellent form, keeping the body safe. Because in my experience, both personal and professional, what I see over and over is the one thing that knocks people out of their fitness goals is injury. And too often that comes from pushing too hard, too fast. As I like to say, don't get greedy, stay within your ability zone. It's not so much the comfort zone. Some of this wasn't very comfortable. Some of the push-ups the body saw, that got really hot. Really hard. So it isn't so much about staying in your comfort zone. No, it's about staying in your ability zone. And that's how we can train with good intensity and effort, but without force and without overdoing it. So Sugar Freedom is available at sugarfreedom.com. Subscribe, like, come back. I do my live trainings every Monday. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful week.